celebrities in history. Frank Sinatra put it all together. And Gene Kelly, Cary Grant, Gregory Peck, Walter Matthau were all there. Frank wheeled in Joe. And as one looked at him, one had to reflect back to some of his greatest fights. And inevitably, that leads you to think of Billy Conn, who was there and with whom I spoke.
They're on for him.
You think back to what might have been when you had him and then tried to knock him out and lost?
Well, I think back about it once in a while, but
Billy Conn did have him in trouble June 18, 1941 for 12 rounds. Conn was giving it to Joe Louis, but in the 13th, Conn thought he could finish Joe off, and it turned out the other way. It turned out that Joe Louis was right that day at Pompton Lakes, New Jersey, when he said he can run, but he can't hide. What about Max Schmeling? Well, I spoke to Max.
Well, you know, Joe is he's such a good man. He has a big heart.
Schmeling had knocked Louis out in 1936. This return match had about it aspects of history and current events. And there it was on June 22nd, 1938, as Louis knocked out Max Schmeling, and one can still see Bob Considine's words. Listen to me, buddy, while my palms are still wet with sweat. And as Louis knocked out one opponent after another, those words kept ringing. My jaws still agape at the utter shock of watching Joe Louis knock out opponent after opponent. There was Max Baer, the Livermore Larrap. There was Tammy Moriello. There was Lou Nova. There was two-ton Tony Galeno. One after another in succession. Joe Louis, possibly the greatest fighter who has ever fought in the heavyweight division. And did last night. And there was that day in 1943 at Madison Square Garden.
The 26-year-old Arguello burst on the international boxing scene in a dramatic moment, November 23, 1974, Inglewood, California, as he fought Ruben Olivares in the 13th round. He dropped him with a left hook. And then, as we see here, he had a devastating right uppercut right on the button of Olivares, and Ruben was gone. The former bantam champion and the featherweight champion knocked out by this devastating youngster from Nicaragua, and the new featherweight champion, Alex Arguello. In 1978, having vacated the 126-pound weight limit because he had trouble making the weight, he moved up to 130. The super featherweight class challenged Alfredo Escalera for the title, and here in round 8 demonstrated the devastating power that won him the victory. And then April 1978 against challenger Filipino Ray Tam, the leverage of Arguello showing here as he just absolutely devastated the Filipino. Never let him get in. Championship bout, Arturo Leon. He'll be wearing red trunks as he comes out of the sweatsuit, trained by Ron Weathers, Bettino Martinez, and Jimmy Montoya working with him in his corner. He's 29 years of age. Here's a very important stat. He stands 5'5.5" in height. His reach is listed at 68.5 inches. He is going to be fighting a man who is right at 5'10" and who has a reach of right at 70 inches. And that is a tremendous difference at this weight where quickness and leverage means so very much. Alexis Arguello has come into the ring now, his record reflected right there. And if you noticed an absence of record on Arturo Leon, let me tell you that we had some difficulty in utterly defining his record as he fought in Mexico on a number of occasions. So rather than speculate on what the record was, we chose to ignore it.
Lightweight Championship of the World as sanctioned by the WBC. Introducing in the blue corner, hailing from Managua, Nicaragua, the junior lightweight champion of the world, Alexis Arguello. And the challenger in the red corner, from Mexico, now fighting out of Tucson, Arizona, weighing 128 1/4 pounds, Arturo Leon.
From Las Vegas, Nevada, Fernandez exposing what is considered by some recently over Bobby Chacon, a man that probably Arguello will fight in the near future should he win here tonight. As we move into round 1, we will note particularly the effort at lateral movement by the challenger Leon. If he does not, then I don't believe he can do anything but absorb a tremendous amount of punishment from the long-armed Arguello. Arguello and the boxing public shocked by the Fernandez victory over him, but Fernandez beat him with speed of foot. If you settle in there, go flat-footed, and let Arguello set on you and use that leverage, he is tremendously punishing at 130 pounds. The champion in the black velvet trunks. Hard left hook to the side of the head. Just missed the target. You can hear the thud-thud as the champion's blows go in, even though they may not be landing cleanly, even though they're landing on the forearms. This is a 15-rounder, and down the way, it may tell. A hard right staggers Leon. He's back against the ropes, and for the first time shows some fight. Trying to get out of trouble, but now he comes off the ropes and runs right into a hard left hook. The champion dominating the first round. Perhaps there's nerves running through the mind and body of the challenger. He goes a little low with a hook. The referee, Pearl, says pick it up. Not that much movement from Leon. He has never been stopped, traveling the distance so many times. But he has never fought this man. The left by Leon missed. The right by Leon found its target, following a right hand by Arguello. Little red spot on the champion's nose. The right hand by Leon found its target. But in the meantime, he has given the champion 2 shots to the body and a hard left hook to the side of the head. That looping left. Ripping blows by Arguello. No knockdown limit per round as we come inside 20 seconds to go in round number 1. A 10-point must system under the WBC rules. 3 judges do the voting. The referee has no vote. Coming down to the end of round number 1. Alex Arguello and Arturo Leon. Take some punishment from the champion in that opening bout.
Well, you touched upon the key point before over the round girl, one of the lovelies here at Caesar's Palace. But excuse me, if Leon wants to have a chance against Arguello, he must dilute that reach. He must get inside and tie him up, move in and out. He told me that was his battle plan, but he didn't show it in that round. Thus, he was leveled constantly by the blows at decent range of the champion Arguello.
He looks lean and trim, and as we indicated, we don't know how much drying out he had to do last night in order to meet the 130-pound limit, but he looks lean and firm, and he took a decisive edge in the opening round. Still, not a whole lot of movement by the challenger Leon as the champion digs hard into the body. He keeps hammering on the arms and hooking that left deep into the midsection. When we talk in terms of leverage in boxing, to a degree what we're talking about is leverage in terms of an offensive lineman blocking in football. It's just simply a matter of setting yourself and using extension of the body and the arms. And that's pretty much what happens here when you have the short man and the tall man. Wicked left. Just missed the point of the chin by Arguello. It caught Leon just under the chin. They call Arguello the explosive thin man, Flaco Explosivio. He is that. Digging to the body, a hard right hand, and Leon is in trouble on the ropes. Arguello looking to the eyes to see where he is, but apparently Leon is all right. He has a history of being able to take the punch, and he surely took a couple there. He is not out of the woods in this moment, however. He's still on the ropes and takes a hard left hook high on the side of the head. Dave Pearl, the referee. You could see as Leon made his move to come to the body, the champion with the reach, able to fend him away. The right hand, overhand lead just missed by Leon. He's been close, but so far has not had the target. Hard left. Good left hand by Leon there. And Arguello shakes his head, rubs the right eye. That hurt him. Got a bulldog in Leon. "15 seconds to go in round number 2. The champion most decisive in the opening round. Here in the second round, the challenger has come back after absorbing punishment to sting the champion with a hard left hook. End of round 2. Round number 3. Arturo Leon, the challenger in the red trunks. The champion, Alex Arguello of Nicaragua, in the black trunks. In the second round, late in the going, the challenger caught the champion, Arguello, alongside the head with a hard left hook. And Arguello shook his head, blinked and rubbed his right eye. But so far in the fight, it has been Arguello's dance, even though the challenger did come on in the late moments of the second round. 2 titles on the line tonight here as you watch from Las Vegas. Coming up after this, Larry Holmes defends his heavyweight WBC championship against Alfredo Evangelista in the opening bout just a few minutes ago as the challenger bores in and scores with a combination. And there's a red flash on the left side of the face of Arguello. Kenny Norton knocked out Randy Stevens, 242, third round in the opening fight. Looked most impressive. Started very fast. To the body goes Leon. At 29 years of age, he has never had the big money fight. This would be it, almost surely. If he shows well here, goes the distance, he'll make some money. If he wins it, he'll make a lot.
The thing about Mexican fighters, it's been my observation through all of the Olympiads I've worked, they have a tremendous capacity to absorb punishment. And frequently the opponent loses his will, begins to punch himself out midway or later into the fight, becomes dispirited. And Leon appears to me to be typical of that Mexican type of fighter.
Left miss. He sagged back into the ropes, but it was an effort to get away from the blow. Slowed just a bit here in the third round. Arguello pacing himself now as he ripped away in the first and second round, but has slowed some here in the third. The left hand partially blocked by Arguello.
But what Leon is beginning to do now more and more is fight in and out, just as I suggested earlier, Cliff. He'll back off and then suddenly charge in and work well on the inside.
Coming up on 10 seconds to go in round 3, the hard right hand by Arguello. This the most even round of the fight so far, as Arturo Leon begins to move more boldly toward Arguello, the champion. Coming out now against the challenger, Arturo Leon. The judges are Harold Buck, Dwayne Ford, and Hal Miller. It's been a good fight. Now let's see whether or not Leon continues to move back into a more equal posture with the champion. Fighting very well in round number 3, after the champion had seemingly taken the first 2 rounds. The right hand misses just barely by the champion. He digs to the body. Leon goes back toward the ropes and then ties him up. And you can see the power of Arguello as he works inside. He hooked that right hand over.
I also, Keith, forgive me, having seen him fight so many times, see the beginnings of impatience.
Yep. But again, to go back to the point you made of the so many Mexican fighters that we have seen, particularly in international competition, they will take it in order to give it. And they are relatively patient. There's a right hand thrown over the guard of the champion and landing flush on his jaw, but not with a great deal of authority. 130 pounders. There was a time when you didn't get a whole lot of attention around the world for boxers at this weight and less. But over the last 20 years, particularly in the Southern California area, the smaller man became very popular, and they have continued to be popular, and that popularity has grown all over the world.
With, of course, the boxing competitions in the Olympics being one of the fostering factors.
Question.
That's it, baby. Off the jab, back to the jab.
Tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time, join us for Oklahoma and Nebraska. From Lincoln, Nebraska, followed by a second game on a regional basis. Check your local listing for the second game, but don't miss that one tomorrow. It will be something. The number 1 and 2 teams in the country in offense in college football for 1978. In 1971 was the last time that Nebraska was able to defeat Oklahoma, and they feel they have a shot this time as the challenger reaches in with a combination to the face of Arguello. Arguello coming back a little wildly. This is round number 4. Inside a half minute to go in number 4. There's a perfect example of the bulldog that is in Leon. He absorbed punishment to the body, never blinked, just came right on in and found his man with a good right hand. Winding down at the end of round number 4 as the pace slows just a little. We go to round 5 for the World Boxing Council Super Featherweight Championship. The champion in the dark trunks on the left, the black velvet. He now has a mark over the right eye, just under the eyebrow. They exchange hard shots to the body there. Leon coming on in rounds 3 and 4. And showing here in the early going that he has now lost whatever intimidation there might have been early in the fight. There is no swelling around the right eye of the champion, but there's definitely a mark, and it goes back to the second round. There's Leon digging in, flat-footed, just ripping away at Arguello, and he landed. Rounds 3 and 4 very close. First 2 went decisively to the champion.
The basic weakness to Arguello is he's a stand-up fighter, and he can be hit. And Leon is not without his own punch. As this fight develops, and as Arguello grows more and more impatient, we may see some surprising things.
Al Silvani now training Arguello. He's made some changes in his tactics as he's moved out from the 126 up to 130. Again, I'll go back to the point earlier that we don't know how much effort was put into meeting the 130-pound weight limit, too. We'll see how much that might tell as we get there. It's a good right hand right off the jaw of Leon. A good left hand by Arguello. He is the sharper puncher, exercising the reach very well. But keep in the back of your mind the word Howard used about him, impatient. Arguello missed with the right hand. He tried to set him forward in the corner and couldn't get it, and the challenger comes working off the ropes and gets out of trouble. Less than a half minute to go now in round number 5. Tough fight at 130 pounds.
Double it up.
They exchanged lefts. Both landed. The differing attitude in the dressing rooms of Holmes and Evangelista. Pretty loose.
It sure was.
Here we go now to round number 6 for the Super Featherweight Championship of the World. And it's Arguello, the champion, getting the early exchange, the better of it. Leon plodding along. Not moving all that much. At 128 1/4 pounds. His first real opportunity as a professional boxer. His victory over Bobby Chacon earned him number 7 ranking and earned him this title opportunity. But in order to get to Arguello, he has to make that kind of a move, and inevitably he's going to pay for it. Chop right to the side of the face. Down goes Arturo Leon. The count being told off by the referee, Dave Pearl. He has a look at him, and the fight will continue, and Leon is in trouble. He is in serious trouble here in round number 6. There is no limit on the number of knockdowns, but the doctor now is concerned. The referee staying very close to it as Arguello pounds away, and Leon trying to weather the storm. A lot of time to go here in round number 6. Another left to the side of the face by Arguello, and Arturo Leon's eyes are foggy. He's trying to weather it. The champion just ripping away at him, and now Leon beginning to get his faculties back, fights back off the ropes, but he is still in trouble. He still does not look alert. Now he may weather it. We're coming up on a minute to go in round number 6. Leon fighting off the ropes now against Arguello. The punches don't have that much sting, but right now he's just trying to weather this storm. Down from a hard chopping blow to the side of the face.
Right hook, right hook.
The overhand right by Leon just missed. A half minute to go. It now appears that Arturo Leon is going to weather the 6th round, having been dropped by Arguello, the champion. He came out of it. He took a lot of punishment. He really was foggy, but now at the close of the round, he comes fighting back, hammering into the champion on the ropes. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada for the World Super Featherweight Championship between the champion Alex Arguello and the challenger Arturo Leon. Coming up as soon as this fight is done, Larry Holmes defends his WBC championship against Alfredo Evangelista. Earlier, Kenny Norton, a 3rd round knockout of young Randy Stevens to prove that he is still fit and eager and ready. And he's looking ahead to a bout against Ernie Shavers. It appeared in the 6th round that Arguello, the hard hitter from Nicaragua, had Arturo Leon, the Mexican fighter who now lives in Tucson, Arizona. It appeared he had him. He dropped him. Leon came up, eyes foggy, scarcely knew where he was, but he fought his way off the ropes, and at the close of the round was coming on most gamely. And now there must be a new note of respect in the eyes of the champion for this tough 29-year-old Arturo Leon in the red trunks. Arguello almost has to pace himself here in round number 7 because he threw every kind of punch known to man in the 6th round. Put Leon away, and Leon comes storming in and lands a hard shot to the left side of the face. There is a small cut. It is not bleeding, but it has been cut in the corner of the right eye of the champion.
Arguello clearly the superior fighter throughout the first 6 rounds, but Leon showing that dogged capacity for acceptance of punishment so common in Mexican fighters. And probably, if he runs true to course, will come on much more strongly in the latter rounds unless Arguello can put him away.
A minute to go in round number 7. The champion covering well there as Leon came off the ropes.
Step back.
Leon not sharp with his punches. Able to get inside. He is not getting his target the way he'd like, but he reached inside with a short uppercut and found the chin of the champion. 10 seconds to go. A good left hook, a chopping left hook by Leon as we wind down toward the end of round number 7, Super Featherweight Championship. We move into round number 8 now. Alex Arguello, the champion, in the black trunks, and the challenger Arturo Leon in the red trunks. The champion is in control of the fight at this time as we near the halfway point. But the history of Leon is that he is tough in the late rounds. He has never been stopped. He has gone the distance every time that we've been able to confirm his record of fights in this country. That is a dangerous place to park in the corner against Arguello. Arguello just missing the left hook. That time he snaps the jab and finds his target. These 130-pounders and the World Boxing Council Super Featherweight Championship is on the line as Leon lands the best combination of the fight for him. The right hand off the forehead of Arguello. I see no marks on the challenger. There is a slight cut in the corner of the right eye of the champion. A little puffiness under the left eye of Leon. He again tries to put that left hook home and just missed with it. In the meantime, Arguello hits him hard with a left hook to the rib cage. Snaps that left back into Leon's face. It is a punishing left hand that Arguello carries. Arguello talking about perhaps a fight with Bobby Chacon, and then to defend the title against the man from whom he took it, Alfredo Escalera, in February of next year. The flurry on the ropes, not much to it. Again, the left hand snapped into the face of the challenger. It's a punishing left hand, the kind of blow that over the long haul can whittle away at the will of a man. The reach reflected so dramatically right there as Leon took a solid left to the face in order to throw one blow, and it did not land.
Come on back.
Less than a half minute to go now in round number 8. Tough, bruising, 130-pound fight.
Well, how loose and easy Holmes was as he hugged Rich Giacchetti. Here's Keith Jackson, round 9 of the Arguello fight.
For the WBC Super Featherweight Championship, Leon continues to plod along, absorbing punishment, but always there, right in front of the champion. Now as we get into round 9, the physical conditioning should start to tell. We do know for a fact that Arguello had to dry out quite a bit in order to meet the 130-pound limit. We do know, too, there was a lot of squawking from the Arturo Leon corner as to whether or not he actually did it. The champion with a reach that is almost 70 inches. The reach of the challenger about 68 and a half. The height is the big difference. 5'5.5" for Leon, 5'9.5" for the champion. That's a lot. Left hand again snaps into the face. The left hook to the body blocked by the elbow of the champion. Leon was down in the 6th round. The champion was not able to put him away. And at the end of round number 6, Leon was taking it to Arguello. Tell all of our stations along the way that at the end of this round, we will take a station break. Good left hand by both men. A little more authority in Arguello's, as you can see how it snaps the head of Leon back. Frustrating for the short man. Went to the body, missed with the hook to the head. Most of that blocked by Arguello. In fact, all of it. Arguello's a rather decent defensive fighter. Coming up on 20 seconds to go in round 9. The snapping left hand of Arguello. Scoring points here in round number 9. We'll be back after this word from our local stations. Dark Trunks, every man has his own story. In the case of Leon, it was a matter of coming out of the ghetto, as he put it, the gutter, fought his way up, and here he is with a great opportunity. The champion Arguello can tell you the story of the earthquake in Managua in December of 1972, when his wife and young son chose to sleep in the bedroom with him on the night of the earthquake, and that was the only room left intact in their entire home. Little things as they pass through your lives. He reflects fondly on that particular moment that saved possible tragedy in his family. The pace has slowed. The champion came out furiously. He has 13 first-round knockouts in his career. He tried to get Leon in the first 2 rounds, but he was unable to do it.
The pace is slowed for that reason exactly, as I had suggested earlier. Arguello gave everything he had in the early rounds, and Leon had the strength and stamina to survive. The one knockdown in the fight coming, of course, in the 6th round, and Leon survived that knockdown. Now Al Silvani's trainer. Al Silvani is Arguello's trainer. Silvani, one of the best in the business, sitting right next to me at Arguello's corner in trouble, trying to exhort his fighter on, but sensing, because he's so experienced, Silvani, that Arguello has very little sting left in his punches. This is not to say that Arguello has not been totally dominant in the fight. He has, of course, been that.
Scoring well in the last 2 rounds with that stabbing left hand, using his prime resource, reach.
I don't think he expected this tough an opponent. I really don't.
Now we know why Leon has had trouble getting fights.
Some truth to that.
Good right hand by Leon, but Arguello not bothered by it. Right hand just missed the jaw, went off the neck.
What is amazing to me is that Arguello has not, again a right hand by Leon, Arguello has not been able to cut his opponent. Nope.
10 seconds to go, end of round number 10. We've gone through 10.
Evangelista. Round 11 and Keith Jackson.
And Kenny Norton stopped young Randy Stevens, 242, third round in the opening bout here tonight. And the commitment for the bout between Norton and Ernie Shavers confirmed for next February. This is surely going to be a telling time as to whether or not the champion was weakened by the drying out process, whether or not Leon has anything left. And by that I mean whether or not he has an edge. He'll have to have a physical edge here in the late going in order to penetrate the reach of the champion. In a phrase, he'll have to go bully to get to it. Right now, Leon is fighting Arguello's fight at range, and Arguello just keeps pecking away at him with those 70-inch arms.
That's what he's done all fight long. His job was to get inside. He told me that's the way he would fight, to try and get inside. Leon has not been able to do it.
The left hand off the side of the head with no damage. Leon down and almost out of it in the sixth. Just barely survived. But in his will showed tremendously as he carried the fight to the champion in the last 30 seconds. That was way back in the sixth round. We are now in number 11. See that left hand just pop. Head snaps back. Missed with the hook. Hook to the body by Leon. A left hand to the jaw by Leon. But the last left missed. Leon may get into a posture now as we work our way through the 11th round where he's going to have to gamble. Enough time has now passed that if, in fact, the champion punched himself thin back in that sixth round, he's had time to recover, too. That's a factor to consider. Also remember that when he defeated Olivares for his first major victory, he got it in the 13th round.
And he defeated Escalera last January 28th in the 13th round. But referee Arthur McCanny wanted to stop it that night in the 8th. Puerto Rico, the referee doesn't have authority to stop the fight. The ringside doctor must stop it.
End of round 11. We go to number 12 for the World Boxing Council Super Featherweight Championship here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Alex Arguello comes right out with that long left hand and reaches the challenger Arturo Leon immediately with it. In the opening fight tonight, Kenny Norton knocked out Randy Stevens, 242, third round. We're now watching Alex Arguello defending his WBC 130-pound title against Leon from Arizona. And coming up, 15 round to Larry Holmes, his first defense of his WBC heavyweight title against Alfredo Evangelista, the European heavyweight champion. On my card, I have the champion decisively ahead.
Get your elbow off.
But it is now up to Arturo Leon as to whether or not he's ready here in the 12th round of Schedule 15 to gamble, go all out. He will have to sense, I'm sure, before he does it, that the champion has grown weary. And right now, it does not appear so, as Arguello keeps him at range, using that 4-inch height advantage very well. Right hand lead, softly to the chin, not much damage in it.
Step back, please. Step back.
Hard right hand by Arguello, and it jarred Leon and stirred up some interest in the champion's corner. Hooks that left hard off the side of the head of the challenger, Leon. Leon's punches now losing some of their authority. The champion, cool, still drilling him with that long left hand. They work on the ropes, no damage there. Little short, sharp uppercut by Arguello. Opened up Arturo Leon, and there's a hard right hand to the jaw. A left hook to the side of the head by Arguello. He's peppering Arturo Leon rather decisively here in the 12th round. Two lefts. Again, the left to the face.
Come on now, throw, Arturo. Come on in, throw.
And we've tried
On the scene. Round 13. Let's see if we can get some boxing action.
Well, we keep waiting for the challenger Leon to sell out and go full bore, because that's what he has to do now. As Alex Arguello in his third defense of this 130-pound WBC title, since taking it from Alfredo Escalera back in January. He knocked out Ray Tam of the Philippines in 5 rounds. He knocked out Diego Alcala of Panama in 1 round. And he has dominated this contest against Arturo Leon.
Leon has never, in point of fact, gone 13 rounds. Arguello is fighting flat-footedly. In the early rounds, he was on his toes, still seeking to knock out the opponent, but unable to do so. Remember, just 1 knockdown, that one in the 6th round. And yet the pattern of the fight has been redundant, incessantly so. Arguello dominating with his reach, with his boxing skills. Leon able to get through only occasionally. So the crowd has grown increasingly quiet.
A little short, sharp left to the jaw of the champion. Arguello shakes his head, recognizing the defensive mistake as he had dropped his right hand. Leon boring in. We are now in round 13, just a few minutes away from Larry Holmes' first defense of his WBC championship, heavyweight championship. Holmes, his dressing room, we've shown you twice. Loose, easy. Evangelista's dressing room, quiet, almost reclusive.
Keith, I just talked with Al Silvani, who admits that the fighter is sluggish, Arguello, his fighter, and he says the reason is he had to take off 3 pounds in the last 24 hours, and that sapped his strength.
That's a lot of weight when you're trying to get in at 130. That's why they kept the sauna open until the wee bonny hours this morning for him.
Hold it up.
That way you were? No, I was doing my own Zing. Inside, Arguello hangs away, and Leon is taking a pounding on the ropes. But he is resilient. He is hurt. There's a hard right hand. He almost goes down. Arguello ripping away at him. Coming up to the end of round 13. It looked for a moment that Leon might go down one more time. He was down back in the 6th round. He took a furious pounding over the last 40 seconds from the champion, but once more he's going to weather the storm, and we've done 13. Round 14. The challenger Leon looks weary. The champion Arguello is weary. Again, to go back to the 6th round, the challenger was down. He was almost dropped in the 13th round, but he weathered it. The champion has a small cut in the corner of the right eye, but it has not been troublesome for him. He got it back in about the 4th round, maybe the 3rd round. Right now, I have on my scorecard a shutout for the champion.
I do too, except I called 2 rounds even. Al Silvani says that his fighter is being troubled those cuts at corners of both eyes, Keith.
Ironic in that it is normally Arguello who inflicts the cuts.
Right.
Little puffiness on the face of Leon, the challenger, but no cuts. He is a tough customer, this fellow Leon. Giving away 4 inches of height, giving away better than 3 inches in reach against an accomplished hard hitter like Arguello has just been too much of a challenge for the 29-year-old so far tonight. One of the magics of boxing, as Leon scores with a left and a right to the head of the champion. But one of the great magic, I think, to boxing is it's man on man. As long as both of them are standing, both have an opportunity. Left hand partially deflected by Arguello's defense. The jab, the following hook. The jab worked, the hook didn't. And Leon digs a hard left and a right to the body and gets the left hook to the side of the head of the champion on that exchange. Arguello seems to disdain the punching ability of Leon at this point in the fight, though. He does not seem concerned about it. "15 seconds to go in the 14th round. Both fighters flat-footed and weary.
Is down. Tommy Lasorda, the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. The bell for the 15th and final round.
Let's see how much gamble and energy and will is left in the challenger as he throws a hard left hook and gets it to the side of the head of the champion. But a wicked left to the jaw of Leon startles him as he comes boring in. A game fellow, but he will have to knock the champion out here in the 15th in order to win this fight. Hard left to the body by Arguello. Wicked right to the body.
That blow hurt Leon. Maybe more than even those that knocked him down. That right to the body.
It does appear, however, that Leon may continue his string, his history of going all the way. But he has taken a good amount of punishment in this bout with Alex Arguello.
It's much like we've seen through all of the years. The capacity of these Mexican fighters to absorb punishment, to fight courageously, to hang on. You have to admire them for it.
The 15th round.
Right there, baby. Come on, Arturo. Come on. Arturo, come on, fight, baby. Come on, work. Work, Arturo. Come on. Right there, work, Arturo. Go, Arturo.
Leon just cannot reach Arguello. 2 good, solid left hooks. And then a crashing left to the body by Arguello. And he's going to finish the fight with a flare.
And what he wanted was to knock Leon out. And he was trying desperately to do that and still is. And it does not appear that he is going to be able to do it.
Not much starch left in the punches of Arturo Leon. But I will say again that he is a very game fellow, and all of our local stations will tell you at the end of this round you'll have your station break. 10 seconds to go in the fight.
Se acaba, tira la mano, hombre.
The decision will be upcoming. It'll take a little bit of time, but it has been dominated by the...
For the winner and still junior lightweight champion of the world, Arguello.
So there's the story as the young man from Nicaragua defends his title for a third time successfully. I had it a shutout. The judges' cards almost as decisive.
Gene Tunney, remembered as the Fighting Marine, who put all of life together in the boxing ring. And for him, he became the heavyweight champion on September 23rd, 1926, against the Manasseh Mauler, Jack Dempsey. Tunney put on a brilliant boxing exhibition, Sesquicentennial Stadium, 125,000 people in attendance in the city of brotherly love. He would make his first title defense, Soldier Field, Chicago, against the Manasseh Mauler. And this was round 7, and one of the classic moments in boxing history. Referee Barry ordering Jack Dempsey to go to the neutral corner, and then the count began, the famed long count. Tunney got up at the count of 8. But how many seconds were really involved, nobody will